guys, welcome back. So it's been a long journey, long journey in the past several weeks. First off, I must say that I discovered Dr. Umar Johnson back in 2014 when I moved to New York City, and I was with my ex. Our first date actually was watching the Hidden Color series. It's a really good documentary that talks about the struggle, the struggle that we go through as African Americans, that we've been through, from ages back up until now. It's more of a political awareness documentary that Tariq Nasheed created. Kudos to Tariq Nasheed, and Dr. Umar Johnson was featured in it. And when I watched it, it really stood out to me. The video really stood out to me. His part in the documentary, it really resonated with me. And since I've been following him and seeing his vision, understanding what he is out to do, right? And it's beautiful. His vision is really beautiful, to see that he's only out to help the Black community, to give back. And I have to be careful and take my time with this video, because I have some things, important things, that I want to bring to you guys' attention and to discuss. But he stood out as a guy who really is passionate. He has a deep passion for bringing change within a Black community. His focus, sorry guys, hit the table. But his focus is on working in education. That's where his training, that's where he got most of his training, in education, right? And we all know that, he went to school in Pennsylvania. He got his PhD in clinical psychology. He's worked as a school psychologist. He has the credentials. But meanwhile, Black people are attacking him. And this kind of just came to the forefront and up under my radar. Like, I think when I first noticed he was under attack, I would say the beginning of this year or last year, the end of last year, when it was him, Tariq Nasheed, and Dr. Boyce Watkins kind of got into their little spat, on social media. And I just saw like a whole bunch of people just attacking him. I'm like, wondering, why are people attacking him, It's crazy that people are attacking him. And then I started to make videos to support Dr. Umar Johnson, because I stand by the mission, I stand by the cause. The school, the FDMG Academy, it's like anybody who has a dream, I stand behind it, I support it 100%. And I began to express, my public support of him and the movement to bring about change within the Black community. And then somehow I began to get attacked. And I'm wondering, like, why are people, why is this person attacking me? It was a person who created a whole YouTube channel against Dr. Umar Johnson that was the intent to bring him down. And I began to question, like, what is this? What is this? My mind is always trying to figure out the what, the why, the who, the where, the all of that. That's just science. That's just the way my mind thinks. And I'm trying to feel like, why? Why is it, that people are attacking me? And it wasn't so much people as it was this one person who has this YouTube channel solely dedicated to defaming his character and destroying his reputation and his name. And I'm like, why? I mean, I get it that he has these controversial views, and though he's he's trained as a school psychologist, some of his work is kind of tapering on the lines of politics, right? And we know politics can be really crazy, Most people want to stay away from politics because it can get really grimy, you know. My focus has been on mental health and the health field. I don't claim that I'm a politician, don't want to be a politician, you know, but sometimes being that we're African American and we're trying to fight for our survival in this country, you know, and equality, is like we taper along those lines of politics, even if we don't want to. You know, I don't think no one really was born into this world to say, oh, I wanna just go and join these marches and protests. You know, I want to dedicate my life to defending the Black community, defending our Black identity. You know, I want to dedicate my whole life. You know, no, I don't think no one when they're born, you know, they're kids, I want to fight. You know, who wants to do that? But it's like you're ushered into that. You're ushered into that position because it's a part of who you, it affects who you are. It affects your survival, right? And so that's where Dr. Umar Johnson ended up. You know, I bet he probably didn't have in his mind when he decided to go to school and become a school psychologist and doing assessments with children in school, in the schools. And then even when he was working as a school principal, you know, with his lectures, I don't think he probably maybe didn't even think, okay, well, I want to join politics. You know, I want to join this arena of politics, right? But he found himself there. You know, neither did I. I never said I want to become a part of this whole political arena. You know, I'm focused on psychology and mental health, you know, and giving back to the Black community and just helping people all together. You know, that's what I'm about. I'm about helping people. You know, I haven't just worked with Black people. I've worked with many different people from many different nationalities, ethnicities, just different age groups, you know. So I find it, you guys saw when I broke down in one of my early videos, because I was under attack. And you know, and yes, someone has my password. Okay. I was under attack, you know, by this person on YouTube, and then people who follow her just started to attack me. Just, oh, why are you following Dr. Umar? You're an Umarian, and you know, trying to say we can't. We're cult members, right? They're saying we're cult members. We don't have a mind of our own. And it's just like, no, you know, it's a difference between being sucked up into something and just, you know, being led and persuaded to do something against your will or against your moral values or whatever. But that's not the reason that propelled me to support Dr. Umar Johnson. You know, it's like I felt what he was doing was in line with what I'm doing, you know, and it's all about our survival in this country. You know, it's about making the next generation, preparing the next generation for a better future, you know. But look what's happening. We're getting attacked. And I put a lot of thought in this because, you know, they were attacking him, but then because they noticed I started supporting him, the attacks came to me. And it's not just to me, but it's to anybody who supports Dr. Umar Johnson. Anyone. Whether you're a radio host, whether you're his own father, anybody. So last night, I was laying in my bed and I was thinking, like, this thing is getting kind of serious, because I'm realizing that this person who has his YouTube channel is creating all these videos about Dr. Umar Johnson, and even myself, people who support Dr. Umar Johnson, they're trying to silence us. That's what it's about. It's not about, oh, these, you know, they're trying to find things about our personal lives and bring it to the forefront and say, oh, this is why, you know, they're frauds. You know, that's not the case. This is all about politics, you guys. This is politics. And it occurred to me, this is what they do in politics. They will go and try to dig up, and a lot of times if they can't find anything, they create lies. They create lies to shape the public perspective, to shape a public narrative about individuals, you know, or people who are set out on an agenda. And they try to distract away from that agenda, you know, with their propaganda, with their lies. And that's what this person is doing. And it occurred to me, okay, this is something a bit more than what we think it is, because the person on YouTube is kind of posing as, oh, she's a mental health professional, she's just out to protect the welfare of the Black community. That could not be any further away from the truth, you guys. It occurred to me, and I, you know, when something bothers me, and it happens to just anybody, not just me, but people, you know, when something concerns you and bothers you, you're going to think about it. You know, it's going to be on your mind, and it's supposed to. It's going to bother you. It's going to make you think. And it's good to think. You know, when your thought processes are stimulated, it's good. So my wheels just have been going, trying to figure out what's going on. Not only that, but who is this person? Who is this person? And Dr. Umar Johnson, I believe, several months ago, came across a name for the person, right? And he released it. And then she came out and said, oh, that's not me. She said, that's not me, right? And I'm like, interesting. Either it is her and she doesn't want her identity to be revealed, which makes sense because it's about safety. I'm all about safety, you know, especially as a woman. It's all about, you know, protecting your privacy and your safety. But then you hear in other videos where she's saying it is her. It's like she's saying Dr. Umar Johnson has my name. He has my name. He's throwing my name around out there. But he doesn't have my phone number or my address, right? And I'm like, So we have two different hypotheses. It could be that it's not her, some other person, that somehow this other person's name got sucked up into this mess, and you know, people are believing that it's one person when it's not. Or it could be her and she just wants to protect her identity. But then it dawned on me. I started to think more. You know, I feel like I'm somewhat of an investigator. I feel like it. You know, I'm not an investigator, but it kind of feels like that, because you know, you have to think. You know, you have to search for answers when the answers aren't there. You know, so I'm thinking. And then this morning, you know, I go to my practicum site, and then I'm on break. And the thought crossed my mind again, like, who is this lady? Who is this lady that's making these videos about me? You know, wouldn't you guys want to know? Someone was out there spreading lies about you. You know, some people say, oh, just ignore it. They're just trolls. Just ignore it. But it's one thing if, you know, because usually trolls, they don't do it repeatedly. Like, you may have a troll that may comment, and that's it, you know, just for entertainment, and they'll leave it alone, right? But for a person to repeatedly, over and over and unrelentingly, over and over again, create videos about you, attacking you, making false claims, creating lies. Something kind of clicked in my mind and said, she cannot be a mental health professional. She's more than that, depending on how you want to look at the situation. When I say more, I mean she has a little bit more power than a mental health professional, than an MFT, because initially she was saying, oh, she's a mental professional, you know, MFT, marriage and family therapist. But I'm like, I haven't come across a mental health professional besides Dr. Umar Johnson, you know, who's as political as she is, because she's very political. You can tell. You know, I was speaking with my coworker on break, and I'm like, she's a politician. This is a person who has political knowledge. Not only that, but legal knowledge, a lot of legal background, more than just mental health or psychology, you know, or therapy. But this is just my hypothesis. This has to be someone who has political training, you know? And this is what happened. Today, while I'm on my break, I type in the name that Dr. Umar had, the first and the last name. And guess what comes up? Some videos. Some videos. Now, it's apparent, you can tell by her voice that she's a black woman in the videos that she's made against Dr. Umar Johnson and myself. But some videos came up, and they were not the videos from the YouTube channel. However, they were videos of a person who had a face. And I wasn't so much concerned about her face as I was her voice. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is a hypothesis, because, you know, as a scientist, as a researcher, you know, you can never be too sure. You can just hypothesize. So that's why I have to make it clear, this is my hypothesis, and we can all join together, you know, to become researchers, to try to figure out, because I know a lot of people have been asking, who is this person behind this YouTube channel who's out to attack Dr. Umar Johnson? Who is this person? Who is she? Who is, that's like the mysterious question. Who is his biggest arch enemy? I mean, we have the videos, but it's only audio. We can't see her face, but we can hear her voice. And listening to the videos that she made about me and hearing her voice and feeling a great, overwhelming sense of pain, you know, almost kind of similar to the experience of people who have been, you know, victims of abuse, which I consider that abuse because she's harassing me publicly. You know, she's harassing me and threatening to disclose my personal information, which is illegal. Of course, my senses are going to be aroused, you know, because of that, right? And it's like kind of similar to the response that happens when a person is exposed to a traumatic event. It's like the details of that event, the sounds, the what you see, the images, the sounds, the smell, everything about that event comes into your body, right? It's programmed into your body. It's programmed into your mind, so that, for example, victims of trauma or even, let's say, abuse, they can recognize, they can identify. They don't have to see the person, but they can identify the person just based on the smell. Smell certain things will arouse that person's sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, and it would trigger those memories that have been stored into their brain, into their body. It's interesting how we had a discussion about pain body, how, you know, some people say, oh, well, you know, sometimes you got to just let certain things go, you know, because you store those memories and that can, you know, interfere with so-and-so and so-and-so, you know, if you just don't let those pain memories go. And I told someone, no, actually, especially me, because my position as I consider myself as a clinical psychologist in training, a doctoral student in training to become a clinical psychologist, you know, and a person who espouses more of a positive psychology viewpoint. I said to that person, I said, it's important that we look at both sides. I always emphasize this, you know, a lot of times in psychology, focus on the negative, you know, you shouldn't do this because this is, you know, harmful and this. I say, well, no, we have to look at our reactions, our thoughts, our feelings, everything about human psychology, and look at it through a positive lens to see that it serves a benefit. These reactions that we have to events serves us very well, right? It's a benefit to our survival. It's a survival mechanism that the pain bodies are stored within us. And I believe it was Eckhart Tolle who coined the term pain body. He wrote, you know, books on it, and Dr. Umar Johnson talks about in his videos. And so I had to let the person know, you know, pain body can be good. And I felt as it relates to this situation, you know, it's a good thing that that was a memory that is stored not just in my, it's throughout my body, right? It's in my body. So going back to today, when I watched the video, after typing in the first and last name that Dr. Umar Johnson had, which the person who created this YouTube channel against Dr. Umar Johnson had confirmed that he has her name, I typed in the first and last name, and the video that came up is surprising. I'm like, okay, now we have a face, possibly, right? It's all hypothesis, right? And I click on the video, and guys, immediately when I clicked on the video and I heard her voice, when I say, it's almost like a feeling went through my body. It's hard for me to describe. What kind of word can I use to describe the feeling that came over my body from my head down to my, I jumped up. It's like, oh my gosh, you know. And granted, now I hear all different kinds of voices, you know. I talk to different kinds of people. I hear many different accents, you know. But it's something particular about a certain voice. Like, I think we underestimate our abilities, you know, as human beings that we have to be able to detect differences in between accents and voices and these different stimuli, whether they're auditory or visual or sensational, via tactile touch, that send signals to our brain to alert us, to protect us, right? We underestimate that ability, but I'm very much in tune with myself. We have to be, you know? As mental health professionals, you know, especially as a doctoral student in training to become a clinical psychologist, it's like it's important when working with clients. They always say, therapists, know thyself. You have to know that means you have to be in tune with your own body. And I'm very thankful that I'm at an institution that really values mindfulness. You know, it's like at one point, I remember my supervisor telling me that even at, you know, UCLA, it wasn't big that they talked about mindfulness. You know, it's like the main focus, you know, in medicine is like medicine, you know, it's like medication, right? But the fact that this mindfulness thing is so big now is just taking over, almost like the healthcare field, even mental health especially. And we're trained in my institution on mindfulness. I remember in my counseling class, one of my first classes I took in my PhD program, at the beginning of every class, we did mindfulness activities, exercises, you know. Some people underestimate like the importance of meditation, but you guys, there's a lot of research out there on mindfulness and meditation, you know, but it serves us well. It allows us to be more in tune with our body, our mind, everything from head to toe, our whole entire body, our mind, our internal processes, everything, right? So I'm very much in tune with myself. I'm very much self-aware, right? And so I am sitting there and listening automatically when I click on the YouTube video that came up after typing in the first and the last name that she said that Dr. Umar had of hers. It went off in my body. My body communicated to me. My body was communicating to me, right? And I literally jumped up. I jumped up. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is her. You guys know how like you guys watch like movies and stuff, right? And you know, when the victim has to identify the suspect, it's like it's something that goes off. It's like that's them. It could be a lineup of people, right? But then you see that person, you know, because I think it's like I said, protective mechanism. It's something that goes off in your body, and you have to be self-aware. And it's like, that's it. I know you guys had that moment. It was like, that's it. And it's like, nothing else can tell you that's not it, right? But because, you know, I'm all about factual information, things have to be facts, you know, on her channel, she claims she's all about facts, but a lot of it is just her spewing hatred, and it's her opinion, it's not facts. You know, she's created so many videos and speaking negativity, not just about me and Dr. Umar Johnson, but you guys can go see it's about a lot of other black men, you know, and it's hatred, it's not facts. So I have to make it clear, you know, this is a hypothesis. This is a hypothesis. But it went off in my body. And I was like, that's her. I jumped up and I pressed pause. And it's like a shiver went from my head down to my feet. And I was like, that's her. That's her. I'm on break and my coworker looking at me like, girl, what's going on? So I let her listen to it. And she's partially blind. So her senses, her auditory senses are even more heightened than mine. And so I played a clip of one of her YouTube videos. And then I played a clip of this woman, a potential person who I hypothesize is the same woman. Hasn't been confirmed, but hypothesized. I played both of those clips, one after the other. And my coworker even comes like, that's her. That's her. It's amazing. It's like, that's her. That's her. And even before the clip was played, you know, I've been talking to many different people about this issue, right? Because I can't keep, you know, you can't keep things to yourself. A lot of times people say, oh, you have a big mouth. But sometimes it's good to open up and talk. You have to, you know. I've talked to my therapist about it. You know, I've went to different important people about this issue. And even before I did that, you know, today, she was saying, my coworker was like, when she heard one of the clips from her video, she was like, that woman, first of all, she used the word discombobulated, right? And it's funny how sometimes people underestimate, you know, people in school, or like say, oh, education don't mean nothing. Education really is important. But, you know, my coworker, she's another PhD student. She was like, she used the word discombobulated, you know, and we're trained to just really think critically about things. Discombobulated. And we, you know, I'm trained in psychoanalysis, you know, and so it's my coworker, and she's like, discombobulated, that's actually a word. She's like, no, she's like, she's aging herself, right? She's telling, she's giving her age away. And I say, how so? She's like, because she used the word discombobulated. You know, the woman who was making these videos about Dr. Umar Johnson, she used the word discombobulated. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, so oh, you think she's in her 30s? She's like, no. She's like 40. She's like, no. 50. She's like, no. 60. Like, she's like, I say, you know, we're both hypothesizing, brainstorming, right? And I'm like, I'm like, now you think about it, that kind of makes sense. And she was like, second of all, that's not a Californian accent. And usually I told my coach, I said, I'm pretty good with accents. I'm pretty good with detecting the differences between accents, you know, and the way people talk. I listen, we're trained. That's what I feel like this woman, up until now, I don't know, she could not have been thinking too well, because you come across someone who is trained in with a certain skill, right? You can't fuck over a person who's trained in a certain skill. So, like I said, I haven't just got into this field of mental health. I've been in this field. Like I made a video previously, a few days ago, talking about, you know, my career experiences in mental health and how I started very young. I was really, really young. I graduated from Florida State University with my bachelor's degree in honors in psychology back in 2006. My first job was like as a junior, working at a psychiatric hospital as a mental health technician, you know. And not only that, but I have a master's degree. It's not that I'm just have a bachelor's degree in that. No, I actually have a master's degree in counseling. We're trained. Before I got my master's, I talked to you guys, you know, in my other video, how I was trained, you know, working on the phones as a crisis counselor. This is when I was still an undergrad. So I'm very young, but I'm gaining these skills of training. They train us. That was one of the first skills, and I loved it the way they taught it, of active listening, you know, and being able to really hear what someone is saying. So I'm very good at listening. You know, a lot of people really don't take the time to listen, but that's one of the skills that I really do have, is listening. You know, and listening, you know, and seeing how my coworker was like, yeah, she aged herself. You know, she basically gave her, I'm like, interesting. And I haven't, to be honest, like I said, I just came across this woman's channel because I saw a video that she made about me. I would have known nothing about her had I not seen the video that she made about me, that YouTube actually suggested in my videos. Like, you know how YouTube give you suggested videos? And I'm like, what? I'm watching actually one of my videos, and then I see her video pop up in a suggestion. I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. And I click on, like, somebody making videos about me, you know, but I don't have time to look at people's videos, and she has so many, I have time to look at her videos, you know. But I can definitely say this, you know, and I have to go, that in listening to her videos about me, and even Dr. Umar Johnson, it left this memory that's imprinted in my brain. So, like I said, the voice recognition is pretty strong. Like I said, this is a hypothesis, but you guys can go see for yourself. I can't say her name, you know, because that's her information, but she's already confirmed. I mean, it's in her video. She's already confirmed that Dr. Umar Johnson has her name. And when you look at Dr. Umar Johnson's post that even she shared in her video with her name on it, you know, if you type in that first and last name, this is an experiment that you guys can go and run yourself. But I found it to be quite interesting. Now, this is my coworker said, she was like, it's interesting because has she not made a video about you, and that had it not left that imprint, you know, in your mind, you may not have been able to identify her voice. Same thing with everybody else who's trying to find out who this woman is, may not be able to match those voices together if you put both videos side by side. So maybe you guys can, maybe you guys cannot match those two voices to say, okay, possibly it's the same person, possibly it's not. But for me, I swear it went off like a light bulb, you know, and those aha moments happen a lot of times in therapy, but it was like an aha moment, like a revelation, like a new discovery, like a new development. Like, let's say you're an investigator on a high profile criminal case, and, you know, you're working so hard, you spend a lot of hours, you're like, boom, there it goes. You know, it's almost like I kind of felt that way when I heard automatically, and I said automatically, and shivers went through my entire body, you guys. Like, that is the same person. Now I say hypothetically, because it could not be, because we know that different people from different regions, you know, depending on the region you're from, can have the same accent, have the same tonation. But what I did recognize is that the voice and the videos on YouTube under the hate channel that has been created against Dr. Umar Johnson, that same voice matches another voice of a very high profile politician. And I put two and two together, and I'm thinking, the way she's attacking him and attacking anyone who comes close to him, including his assistant. She tried to pin me against Ann McMillian to say that I'm trying to take her spot, or assuming that Ann McMillian is his wife, and I'm trying to take, like, those are lies, you guys. You can tell the MO of a politician. They do that. Just look at history. Look at politicians and how they campaign, and how they will hire people to try to destroy their opponent's agenda so that they win. Those are the inner workings of politicians. So I'm like, it dawned on me even beforehand. The idea had occurred to me even before today that she can't be a mental health professional, because a mental health professional don't necessarily move like that. unless you're Dr. Umar Johnson, for example, you know, because he's just so driven. He's very driven to get this school off the ground, and he being that he's under attack politically, it's like almost he has to rise to the occasion, you know, and defend himself, you know. And then the certain things that he talks about with respect to the black community, you know, it does taper along the lines of politics or whatever. So I think at the end of the day, we're all politicians, because many of us have spoken out and protested against, you know, these unjust killings by police officers towards, you know, black people, innocent black people. And so when we rise up and we protest, that's like we're engaging ourselves in politics, you know, because there's this back and forth, you know, have people on one side think this, have people on the other side think that. But just to see the extent that she was willing to go to, I'm like, she's attacking Dr. Umar, saying he shouldn't be saying the things that he's saying, trying to attack me and put fear in my heart and say, oh, I shouldn't do certain things. She's trying to distort my image, when she's the one who's actually frauding herself. She's the one who's posing as one person when she's really something else. She's saying that she's a mental health professional, but there's really no evidence to support that claim that she is a mental health professional. There's more evidence to support the idea that she could very well be a high-powered politician who is not from California, but actually from a different state. Now, the video that I came across was of a woman who lives, you know, who's a politician in the Big Apple, you know, our nation's Big Apple. But I'm like, could that be the same person? I swear it sounds like it. And I swear I got those signals through my body that communicated that that's her, but we don't know. So I make this video to put it out there to say, you guys can go and do an experiment, a self-experiment, to compare the voices to see if it's the same. Not to go out there saying that that's her, but to go out there and to compare the voices. And not only that, but to debunk the lie that has been put out there to say that the person that she's posing as, because she said that Dr. Umar Johnson has her name, and it's the name of a person who is an MFT in California. I think with a good amount of reasoning that we can go ahead and debunk that theory, that it's not a person in California. It's most likely a person, a high-powered politician in the Big Apple. And moving on from there, I'm pretty sure she's gonna watch this video. She watches all my videos. Unfortunately, she's stalking me and Dr. Umar Johnson, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna watch this video. I'm gonna retaliate. There's gonna be, I'm pretty sure, some retaliation, because that's how people in politics move. Unfortunately, it's sad to see how politics is in our country. You know, when people are literally trying to fight for black survival, but you have people even within the black community who are trying to attack black people. You know, and it's sad that her voice resembles so much the voice of the lady who was this politician. You know, and it would be sad to come to the realization that a high-powered black female politician would do this. Would do this to Dr. Umar Johnson. But we know in politics, like, politicians are paid. They're paid by people who have money. People say politics drives money. It's like, no, money drives politics. You got money, you can get politicians to do anything. Create a whole campaign to destroy an innocent man, and it hurts my heart. Dr. Umar Johnson, my heart goes out to you that this is happening. It hurts me that I'm being attacked. It hurts me that a person would try to do, a politician would do this to cause division. She may not identify herself as a politician on her YouTube channel because she doesn't necessarily have to, you know, but I feel like ethically, come on, that's wrong. What she's doing is wrong. She's playing a different game. And it's like, no wonder no one has been able to figure out who she is, because she's playing under a different game, you guys. Politics is a different game than mental health. You have a little bit more free range to do certain things under politics than you can under mental health, you know? And I would encourage anybody, don't go attacking. Always question. As her advice, like the advice that she want to give to people out there, question people. But it's good to do the research for yourself. And I said this already, that evil will not prevail. The truth always comes to the forefront. It always does. So that's just my hypothesis on this whole situation, this whole arch enemy of Dr. Umar Johnson. Like, who is this person? That's my hypothesis. That's my hypothesis. That it sounds very much like her. Those voices, and I listen to those voices, it's like chills in my body. And I have New Yorkers who are my friends in New York. I have friends in different states, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida, people from all over with different accents, and I hear different accents. I've listened to different videos of people, you know, in New York, Pennsylvania, but nothing has come as close as it has to that video that I saw. But you guys do the research for yourself. I gotta go. It's Friday, beautiful day out here. And I just want you guys to say a prayer for me, Dr. Umar Johnson, to understand that you have people, politicians that are out there who are trying to destroy him. This is the work of politicians. This is political stuff, you guys. This is what politicians do. Politicians create lies. They lie. Like they lied on Obama, saying he wasn't born in the United States, you know, where's his birth certificate? Just lies. They do that. Politicians lie. It's lies. The whole channel is lies. It's a campaign to destroy him with lies. Understand that, you guys. And to say that she's a mental health professional is like she's trying to give herself more credibility. We know that politicians are liars. Just like they say lawyers are liars. You know, that's part of the work that they do. That's how I guess they achieve the end, by the means of lying. You know, that's just the work that they do. It's very unfortunate, and it's grimy, and it's just like people say, oh, well, you know, sometimes black leaders expect black people just to support. We just supposed to support each other because a person is black, right? So we expect support from black people just because they're black, but sometimes people have different agendas, and I want to make it clear that people operate from different agendas. But that's my best hypothesis, and I have to go. Catch you guys later. I love you guys. Say a prayer for me and Dr. Umar Johnson and the rest of us in the conscious community who are fighting to bring about positive change, who don't mean any harm to the black community. We've lived, we're born into this society, to this country, just like every other black person trying to achieve the American dream. You know, this whole thing about meritocracy and this belief that we all in this country, no matter what race you are, sex, gender, we all have the ability to get these resources, to get access to economic resources that we need to survive if we just work hard enough, right? If we just work hard enough, we have the skill, then we can achieve it. But sometimes some of us question that, because it's just like, is that really true when you have all these other factors at play, you know? And you have politics that is just out there to try to just destroy people with these campaigns, with these lies. It's lies, you guys. That's what it is. Political lies. We know politics is grimy politics, you guys. Grimy politics. So as she says, buyer beware. I gotta go. Bye, you guys. Love you.